My vulnerable population was prescription pill misuse, abuse, and addiction, and the health concerns related to that population. My name is Alicia Bennett. Our population are individuals that abuse, misuse, or are addicted to prescription pills, and this population is very diverse. It affects the rich, the middle class, and the poor, and ranges from teenagers or even younger to the elderly. It's highest among young adults ages 18 to 24 or 25, and even among youth ages 12 to 17. Prescription drugs that are most often abused are opioid painkillers, anti-anxiety medications, sedatives, and stimulants. Overall, the most highly abused would be the opioids, but the population is very diverse and extensive when it comes to prescription pills. Our population, locally, Ogden Central Core has the second highest rate of opioid overdose deaths in the state. Statewide, Utah ranks 7th in the nation for drug overdose deaths, and improper use of prescription pain medications is responsible for more drug deaths in Utah than all other drug categories. For nationally, 18 million people have misused prescription pain medications at least once in the past year. Well, that was in 2017. The National Institute of Drug Abuse estimates that 4% of people in the state of Utah use prescription drugs for non-medical use. Internationally, although it's more prevalent in the US, it is a problem in many areas around the world, including Europe, Southern Africa, and South Asia. Again, in just the US, more than 15 million people abuse prescription drugs. And this is more than combined number of people abusing cocaine, hallucinogens, inhalants, and heroin. So it is quite extensive. Contributing factors for the social determinants of health. Discrimination is a factor, as these people may be discriminated against by their use of their medications. Violence could be high with how they obtain their pills. Violence, either they use violence to obtain pills or violence against them when they're purchasing these pills, or violence against themselves, like self-harm with if they have mental health issues, or prescription pills could cause a shift in your mental health, which could cause them to self-harm. Education. This population, if they are in school or teachers or things like that, being addicted to medications could cause them to not study as hard, to not participate in class, not show up. It can cause effects in their lives that way. For job opportunities, this can cause job loss. It can cause them to not perform in their jobs or in their employment like they should be. For income, goes right along with job opportunities type thing. If they lose their employment, they will not have income anymore. If they lose it because of their addiction or their abuse, they could be spending their money on buying the medications instead of using it to pay bills, things like that. With contributing factors of specific concerns, because this population can range to pretty much anyone, specific concerns are difficult to identify. We could be concerned this population with their psychosocial or mental health. That can, if they're more likely to have an addiction, they could be more likely to start abusing pain pills. This population could have economic issues. Honestly, it could affect the poor more because they're more likely to use substances. And prescription pills can sometimes be easily obtained from a doctor, but also they could use all their money for pills. Physically, medications are going to cause them to have physical ailments and cause their health to lower. Also, I guess a specific concern would be people who are already sick, who have had surgery, are already prescribed certain medications. They're way more likely to take prescription pills on a regular basis, which can turn into an addiction. So, um, probably your main population that starts using pills are people who have had injuries, who have had surgeries, who have mental health issues already that are prescribed these pills, and then they form an addiction. I mean, a lot of us have heard stories of, oh, so and so had shoulder surgery, and in turn they became addicted, and in turn this happened. Their whole life fell apart. Um, I feel like those stories are rampant. They're everywhere of people getting addicted. And then there's also the stories of the people who already have addiction issues that maybe are addicted to alcohol and start taking pills to get a different type of high. Again, this is our contributing factors, our root causes, what's causing them to start taking pills. I covered this a little bit in the last slide, but they get injured and they start taking pain pills and it turns to an addiction. Their mental health, they have depression or anxiety and they start taking benzos or anti-anxiety medication and they become addicted to it. Gives them a high, it helps numb them, and then they just start taking it more and more to numb the mental health issues. Loss of employment, divorce, death in the family, all kind of are looped into depression. Um, as a child, trauma in childhood or absent parents, those can cause, again, depression, anxiety, can kind of set them on the route to have bad friends and have bad friend influence. If they have suicidal ideations, giving them more medications can increase those. Some of medications like SSRIs have a side effect of suicidal ideations. So it's kind of so many things in life can cause people to start taking medications, which then, depending what's going on in their lives, can cause them to take more of the medications and cause addiction. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. In this population, I determined that the met needs, like things that they're probably having met, are love and belonging. They probably still have friends and family at the beginning of their addiction and their abuse or misuse of the pills. I mean, they could just be taking a couple extra and still be functioning in life. The physiological needs, the breathing, food, water, sleep, homeostasis type things are probably still going well in their lives. I would say until they hit rock bottom, maybe those start dropping, but most people still have those in their lives. The not met, I don't think they have self actualization. Um, if it's affecting their brains, they're probably not having very much creativity or problem solving. Acceptance of facts, I would say, is out the door as they are making excuses to take their medications. Self esteem, confidence, respect most likely has gone down the drain. They are obviously having problems in their lives, and that's why they're taking this medication. Safety, medications will start affecting their employment, their health, definitely their health, and their feelings of safety if they're having to obtain the medication pills off the streets or buy them off people, off friends, or things like that can compromise their safety. I feel that this population can function usually in society for quite a while. A lot can still function in their jobs, homes, and social lives, but addiction can come on quickly and take over quickly as well. It can move them to a non-functional level, but it really depends on what's going on in their lives and how much the addiction is taking control. and affecting their employment and their home lives and their marriage or their families, things like that. I would say health outcomes of the population is low. Prescription medications are hard on the cardiovascular system, respiratory system, GI system, liver, and kidneys. So several health issues can arise. Communicable diseases or infections. I would say if they're participating in risky activities to obtain their pills, then they can get things like STDs, HIV, AIDS, hepatitis B and C, if they're participating in sexual activity and things to obtain their pills, or if they're moving to using, or if they're shooting them up, things like that, dirty needles, they are at risk. Non-communicable diseases or infections, definitely depending how they're using the drugs, but we all know side effects of medications affect the heart, can cause strokes, cancer, lung disease, especially if they're smoking, liver and kidney issues, depending how much they're taking the drug and how hard it is for the body to metabolize it. Mental disorders, I mean, the more you take it, the more it kills brain cells, depending how you're taking it and what you're doing, can cause mental disorders. I combined two of the slides for self-care, self-harm, and risk for harm. Definitely, if they're buying prescription pills off the street or stealing them, presents a greater risk of being harmed or harming others to get the pills. Substance abuse and self-harm are intertwined and go hand in hand. Definitely, when you're using pills, the high can increase the loss of self-control, resulting in the possibility of self-harming or harming others. We all know how it affects the brain, and when you're paranoid and things like that, or if you're severely depressed, pills can cause that to be worse and cause you to not be able to rationally think, and therefore you can hurt others or hurt yourself. This is all for my presentation on prescription pill misuse, abuse, or addiction. Thank you.